This is a Sopranino saxophone. I've genuinely never ever played one of these before, and if I'm honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous because I know that these things are traditionally really difficult to play. It looks kind of normal in my hands here, but let me show you compared to a soprano, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So there's the Sopranino, and there's the soprano. Look at that. Look at the difference there. It's literally 2/3 the size of a soprano. So this is the P Mauriat gold-plated Sopranino, and it's a beautifully made instrument. P Mauriat make the whole range of saxophones from Sopranino all the way down through to bass saxophone. And when I was down at sax.co the other day, I saw the Sopranino and I just had to give it a go. So I've ordered myself some reeds. Oh, what else is in here? Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's go. Man, look at how small this mouthpiece is. Now, even the reeds are absolutely tiny. Again, it's when you compare it to a soprano mouthpiece that you can really see just how much smaller it is. Now, of course, a really small mouthpiece means that it's going to be very difficult to control and to keep in tune. That's really the challenge. Now, I really wanted to check out the Sopranino for our sax school members because we've got members in there playing the whole range of saxophones from Barry saxophone right through to soprano, and we do get a lot of questions about the Sopranino too. By the way, if you'd like to check out what our members are doing inside sax school, you can actually get started with a 14-day trial, which is running right now. The link is down below. Right, here we go then. First sound ever on a Sopranino. Wish me luck. Man, the keys are so close together, it's really hard to get your fingers around it. So what do you think of the sound of it? I gotta tell you, I absolutely love the sound of this. It's so beautiful and sweet. It's obviously a lot higher. This saxophone's in the key of E flat, like an alto saxophone, where a soprano's in B flat, right? So it's quite a bit higher, but it's so sweet and smooth. And this is actually the stock mouthpiece that came with it, the P Mauriat mouthpiece. Obviously there's lots of different options, but for me that actually sounds really good. I'm using a size 3 Van Doren reed on it. What are the challenges of this instrument? Well, obviously it's small, and like I said at the start, that means the intonation is a real problem. But playing along there, I had a guide track on, so I was able to adjust my tuning as I went through, and that actually made it a lot easier. The hardest notes for me on this are right up in the palm keys. I find the palm keys quite low on this saxophone, so I'm really struggling to pick them out as I'm working my way up to high D, E flat, and E and F. And actually high E and F, it's a real struggle for me to keep those notes in tune. So if I was playing this in an orchestral setting, man, I'd have to do a whole lot of practice to really dial in my intonation. But when you're working in the middle range of the saxophone, it's actually pretty easy to keep in tune, particularly when you're listening to a guide track or you're playing with other musicians. Now I love the way that this saxophone's been put together too. The keywork feels fantastic. All the extra adjustment screws that have been included on this saxophone, which is fantastic. It's one of the things I commented on my alto review of the P Mauriat Le Bravo sax. But you can see on this soprano, there's just loads of adjustment screws that'll really make keeping this in tip-top shape easy. Also, there's some beautiful engraving around the bell here. And I think in the gold lacquer, it looks fantastic. And there's some really nice touches here on the F-sharp trill key and the rather optimistic high F-sharp key as well, with these metal key touches. They look really, really nice. So, who might buy a Sopranino saxophone like this? Well, of course, there'll be some pro players that might be using it for a West End show, or a Broadway show, or perhaps an orchestral call. But I think most people will be buying this simply to add it to their collection of saxophones because it's just such a lovely sound to add into the suite of other saxophones. And I like the way P Mauriat actually go from bass saxophone through to baritone, tenor, alto, soprano, and of course, sopranino. Could you imagine having the whole set on your wall? Well, I'm a massive fan of the Sopranino, but I'd love to know what you think about it. So let me know in the comments if you think this is the sort of saxophone that you could imagine having some fun on too.